Next at 5 o'clock. Wow, a record storm battering our nation's most highly populated area right now. We're on your side with the best coverage of the damage caused by Hurricane Sandy.
And in the mountains of North Carolina, Sandy makes its presence felt in the form of wind and a lot of snow. We're going to have live team coverage in just moments.
And here in Charlotte, some air travelers still stranded for a third day in a row now. 20 airports off limits due to Sandy.
This WBTV high-definition program is sponsored by Time Warner Cable. WBTV News This Morning starts right now.
Good morning and welcome to WBTV News This Morning on this Tuesday. It's October 30th. I'm Christine Nelson.
And I'm John Carter, and along with traffic reporter Tanya Rivens and meteorologist Al Conklin. But let's get started, though, before traffic and weather. Some school closings to let you know about.
Yeah, schools in Avery, Mitchell, Yancey, Ashe, and Watauga counties, you are all closed today. And keep in mind, classes at Appalachian State University before 11 a.m. are canceled for students.
Now, we do have a full list of all closings in our area at the top of our homepage on WBTV.com. What with all that said, let's turn it over now to meteorologist Al Conklin.
Just got the very latest information as of 5 o'clock on where the storm is. Still has 65-mile-per-hour winds over south central Pennsylvania, about 90 miles west of Philadelphia, 15 miles east of York. So if you're familiar with the Dutch country, it's pretty much right over there, Lancaster area of Pennsylvania. Still having a huge impact. Take a look at it from southern Canada almost to Chicago and southward to South Carolina. There's a lot of rain, but there's also not a lot of sunshine. We'll look at the extended forecast in a couple of minutes. Here's Tanya.
Thanks, Al. Good morning. Your first Charlotte traffic sponsored by Toyota. We'll check back in with traffic and weather in less than 10 minutes.
All right, Tanya, thanks. Over 1,000 Duke Energy crews are headed north to help restore power to some of the 6 million plus people right now in the dark. Look at this, a massive transformer, wow, blew in Manhattan last night, putting much of the Big Apple in pitch black. The city's utility company says it could take up to a week before some get their power back. A 13-foot surge of seawater also flooded subway stations in New York and Hoboken, New Jersey.
And in the United States, at least 16 people have died in the storm. Meanwhile, overnight, a major scare for more than 200 people being treated in a New York City hospital. Power went out and backup generators failed at the New York University Medical Center. A team of first responders from Northern California loaded the patients into ambulances. They were taken to one of 2 nearby hospitals.
Further down the coast, people are already surveying the damage Sandy caused. The eye of the storm struck near Atlantic City. And you can see what the wind and waves did to the boardwalk there, battered it pretty good. Many streets in the city are underwater there. Experts estimate this storm could carry a larger cleanup bill than Hurricane Katrina.
Now here in our area, Sandy's wrath is being felt in the mountains in the form of wind and snow. It's been coming down all night in places like Boone. Some areas may get more than a foot of snow before this is all over. WBTV Steve Onosorge is live from Blowing Rock this morning. And Steve, it's pretty cold up there, I know, so tell us exactly what's happening. What are the conditions like?
Well, it's a wonderful day in the North Carolina mountains. If it was the middle of January, this is October. This is a hurricane. It's not supposed to be building it up throughout the mountains today. It's hard to measure because the snow is blowing so quickly. But that's one of the problems for travelers up here, because as soon as they clear one section of road, well, the snow just blows back over it. So everybody needs to be careful. Daylight, we'll be able to see a little bit more. But this is a winter storm, and it's not even Halloween. Reporting live in Blowing Rock, Steve Onosorge, WBTV on your side.
All right, Steve Onosorge live from Blowing Rock and Watauga County. And again, the schools in Watauga County are closed today. Now, for a second day in a row, you won't be able to take a flight from Charlotte to many places in the Northeast. U.S. Airways has canceled flights to 20 airports to the north of the Carolinas, including all 3 in the New York City area. That's around 125 flights. In fact, the airline canceled 125 flights out of Charlotte yesterday. Donna Campbell was hoping to return home to Boston after a trip in Jamaica.
And I understand when they say they're not taking any chances, you know, because I don't want to not get home. But I really would love to get home.
Well, U.S. Airways says it will not charge any fees to customers rescheduling flights canceled due to the storm. And WBTV's Astrid Martinez is going to be live from Charlotte Douglas International Airport in about a half hour at 5:30 this morning.
Well, for a second day in a row now, Amtrak has suspended all of its Northeast service. That affects trains between Boston and Raleigh. Other East Coast service is suspended as well. So as you could expect, the Amtrak station on North Tryon Street was eerily quiet overnight, as you see in this video. It's not clear when service will resume. As for Greyhound, buses are only traveling as far north as the Virginia line.
Now, people along the Outer Banks are calling Sandy the worst storm they've seen in a decade. A huge storm surge combined with a high tide pushed water as far inland as Highway 158 in Kitty Hawk yesterday. Take a look at this video. It's incredible. Governor Beverly Perdue says as much as 2 feet of water shut down sections on the island's main highway. That's North Carolina 12, of course, and that made it hard for engineers to assess damage.
The captain of a tall ship that sunk off the North Carolina coast is still missing this morning. Another crew member was found dead, but 14 were rescued. And you can see some of the dramatic video here of the Coast Guard rescuing the survivors yesterday. It happened 90 miles off the coast of Hatteras. A family member of one crew member was grateful his son was found alive.
Number one is having just been in those rough seas for so many days. Those life rafts are very stable. They're uncomfortable, small, but you're safe. It's just when I found out there were 2 people missing that became very concerned.
Now, the ship was trying to escape Sandy by making its way around the storm, then going on to Florida when it hit rough seas. Well, still to come, new information on 2 local teenagers found dead in South Carolina. A man who discovered their car speaks with WBTV.
Plus, history on Wall Street. We'll tell you what's happening in New York City's financial district today for the first time in 124 years.
And the show goes on. For some, David Letterman decides to tape his late night show without an audience. We're always on your side at WBTV News this morning. It's 5:09. We'll be back.